Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast. So welcome to another race review. Today, actually, the Cup Series race review. The Xfinity Series, we wasn't at home to watch it last night, so we're going to move that race review to tomorrow, hopefully, if we can get it out. But today, let's talk about the Cup Series race from Texas, the AAA 500, and it was Kevin Harvick who went to victory lane after some crazy battles for the lead, and it was
He showed his dominance once again at Texas, so got the old Harvick back.
Yeah, winning his third straight Texas playoff race. So, I don't know what it is about Texas that sets it so different from the rest of the mile and a halves, because he hasn't been able to win a mile and a half besides tonight. But let's talk about the race a little bit. So he ended up getting the pole. And then him and Erik Jones would battle for the lead first couple of laps. And on lap 9 or so, Chase Elliott got up that PJ1 and it just wasn't in, and around went Chase Elliott.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I always call it the trash compound because it's just junk until it gets worked in, which a lot of them just kind of. Chase Elliott, he tried to get up there and he got really loose and hit the wall, and his several laps down but finished the race.
Then we have another caution for debris a couple laps after that. Saw Harvick and Erik Jones, the leaders, those up there battling for the lead, and Erik Jones runs over a turn 3 sign, and
I saw it flying up, from Harvick's car, like what the world was that? And they showed it was one of the braking markers.
Yeah, I was like, is that a piece of Erik Jones' car? Because it was white, just like his car, and I was like, is that? Yeah,
at first I thought like styrofoam or something out of the door or something. I thought, well, they didn't hit each other. Where did it come from?
Yeah.
So
it's funny that they use a brake marker at a turn that they don't brake for anymore.
This is full throttle all the way.
Well, through turns 1 and 2, yes.
Yeah.
3 and 4, you kind of let off, but
no brakes.
And
the only braking zones on pit road.
All gas and no brakes. It'd be Harvick versus Almirola because Erik Jones, Logano, Blaney, Busch, and others would pit, and they tried this different strategy. Like Steve Letarte said, you don't know if you want to start doing that strategy early on because you don't know how the race is going to play out. It turned out okay for most of those guys.
Yeah, it seemed like last time in the spring race, I was trying to do some strategies, and it's like it worked out for some, but not the others.
So Harvick took the lead and caution for LaJoy. A couple laps after that, he got in the wall. Same deal as Chase Elliott, and another one bites the dust.
Yeah, I mean the trashing compound stuff, it was real shiny out there, so it was really loose, really upset the cars, getting the high groove. I mean, a lot of drivers try to get up there and try to work it in, but it just it got the cars really upset.
And it would be Erik Jones versus Clint Bowyer for the lead. Bowyer would take the lead. Then we'd have a caution for Stenhouse and Keselowski. Keselowski did the same exact thing as Chase Elliott and Corey LaJoy. And then Stenhouse did it as well, trying to avoid Keselowski. And
I believe Brad probably would have, got away with it and fixed, got a little bit of damage, but I believe Ricky just kind of lost it right there too, and just kind of destroyed the back end of Brad's car. So that was pretty much the end of his day.
Yeah, I saw NASCAR Chasm do a joke. It was like, "Hey, it's pretty slick up here. I don't really believe you." Oh crap, man! That was. Unfortunate that we've had all those issues in stage 1. I think once the track got rubbered in, it started to come in a little bit, but it never really was a huge factor, just besides it took out almost everybody.
Yeah, I wonder how the racing would have been without the PJ1 out there, and could they had another groove up there, and could these drivers here could race their way in and stuff, like Chase Elliott. Now he's like 40-some points back, and now he's going to have to win at Phoenix.
Yeah, and I think he could win there. I think he's battled for the lead. Last year, he got in a wreck last year, and earlier in the year, I believe he qualified on not the pole. I think he did get pole, and then he had this thing where he jumped the start, and so he had to go down pit road, serve a penalty. So who knows? We could see what Chase Elliott is made of at Phoenix.
Yeah, hopefully he can. I mean, this round hadn't been very good for him. At Martinsville, lost the axle and got put back behind there, and here he gets in the wall early. So hopefully ISM will be a lot better to him.
Yeah, Chase Elliott's only had one good playoff race when you think about it. Just the Roval, and even that he crashed. So yeah, it's been a tough playoff for him, but he has one more shot, one more chance. Rest of the race, probably the most boring thing you could do is wreck out early and just kind of click laps the rest of the way. You got a slow car, you can't do nothing with it.
For a long day.
You just kind of go for a Sunday drive. But then it'd be Bowyer leading. Corey LaJoie would wreck a few laps after that again, and he kind of got stuck there on the apron.
Yep. Ain't sure if he ever got back from that or not.
Yeah, we never really heard from him again. I don't know if he went to the garage after that. I'm pretty sure he did. Then it'd be Bowyer versus Harvick with like 1 lap to go. Harvick would be able to. Actually, no. Before that, it'd be Bowyer versus Harvick, and Denny Hamlin would get in that PJ1 stuff and go around, and the grass bit him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for him to go after the race and maybe hit the grass or something. Get in a fight with it and tell him, that's just a mile and a half race.
Yeah. I was looking forward to see if he would say something like that.
Yeah.
I know we joked about it most times.
Yeah, they turned the splitter up quite a bit because Texas does still have the grass out there, and they kind of destroyed the splitter, and his car just wasn't fast after that.
Yeah, Denny kind of went for a rodeo out there.
Yeah.
Went a little yeehaw out there and really destroyed that splitter and part of the hood, and just he didn't have the speed after that. Met minimum speed, but just not the speed that you want.
Yeah, he lost a lot of positions in the playoffs. He was second?
He was second. Now he's fifth, and he's outside looking in, 20 points out. Still doable. Doesn't have to win, but you're going to have to think someone's going to have some issues.
Yeah, this playoff is really tight right now.
Yeah. Like we said, before the playoffs or before the round of 8 started, there's about 6 guys that deserve to be in the Final Four. Now, one of those guys just hasn't had a good playoffs, and Denny Hamlin, one bad race. Now he's outside looking in. And then, Logano, today was the first race he's finished in the top 5 in the whole entire playoff. So, it was a good day for Logano.
Yeah, I mean, he really, he battled through. I mean, he had some damage and stuff on the left side of the car, but, he managed to come home with the top 5.
So Harvick would end up getting the stage win after a 1-lap shootout with Clint Bowyer. Shootout at Texas.
Yeah, always good, and among your teammates too, because Stuart Haas was really looking strong today.
Yeah, and stage 1, I gotta say, has been the most notes that I've taken for stage 1 in history of stage 1.
Take to the PJ1.
The PJ1 really took out some contenders. It gave us some exciting restarts. Took you about 2 laps to really clear the guy in second. But once the leader gets out there, he kind of gets out there.
Yeah, because Harvick, he really had the bottom line really working for him, and I believe that's is what's helped him a lot. You know, sometimes he'd venture up to the PJ1, and but he really did. His car worked real well in the bottom.
And stage 2, we would have to see if Harvick, his car, if it could move through traffic, because that was the interesting thing during practice, all the practice sessions. You know, they was talking about, you know, do you want to be more trimmed out and be really fast, or do you want to be, you know, go out there and, you know, be able to pass cars and have that handling? And I think that's the thing that's going to be a main factor at Homestead, because it starts in the daytime, ends at night.
Yeah.
You know, Texas isn't just like Homestead, but, you know, how do you adapt to those changes? What do you set up your car for? And I think that's going to make Homestead really interesting.
Yeah.
And we really won't know who is the best until checker flag waves at Homestead.
Yep.
And then, so stage 2, some drivers would stay out. Would see Alex Bowman, Jimmy Johnson battle for the lead. Jimmy would eventually take it. Almirola would just run him down, take the lead, and win stage 2. Very fast stage 2.
Yeah, it was very good. I know a lot of people like to see Jimmy Johnson lead some more races, and here he is really. I think had a pretty decent car today and handled it very well.
Yeah, led a bunch of laps.
Yeah.
That's something, you know, unfortunately Jimmy hasn't done in a while. And I thought, wow, he's going to get his second stage win ever. Just really hasn't had the speed ever since these stages has been around.
Yeah, part made him pretty excited too to get to lead some laps, and hey, I still got it.
Especially at Texas, when he's got 7 wins at. We talk about how good Harvick was or is at Texas. But you gotta think Jimmy Johnson's overall the best.
Yeah.
At least in the old package, he was the best at Texas. But he did show some good speed, and maybe next year when we go here, we'll have that same speed. So, but unfortunately, after the next restart to start stage 3, Jimmy Johnson would get beside teammate William Byron, get loose, spin up to the wall, and he would not make minimum speed. And that's just how Jimmy's year has been.
Yeah, like he almost saved it. I mean, he was really driving it hard, trying to keep control of that car, but it snapped back to the right, and he couldn't get it back to the left again. He got to the wall. I believe it kind of messed the suspension up on the tires, the front end, because he couldn't turn very well, and I believe that pretty much what ended his day.
Yeah, then it'd be Daniel Suarez versus William Byron, and Harvick would have a penalty. It took fuel only, and the team was just, they had a tire sitting out there on pit road, and that was a penalty. I never knew that. I never knew that was such a rule.
Yeah, did they make you stuff up as they go, or what?
I don't know. I think it's in the rule book, but they have to search for it. And
yeah, I believe it. They don't really, really say what all the rules are until a team has an infraction like that. But if they have a tire on pit road, they have to change that tire. If not, it's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a strange penalty because it doesn't give an advantage. I think it happened in an Xfinity race a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly which one, but
yeah, I believe if you're sitting on the wall, it's not technically in the pit. So, but it was sitting on the pit lane. So, yeah, I think they thought about changing tires, but they decided not to, and it really had them all confused. So,
yeah, that's just one of those things. I was like, it doesn't give an advantage to the team. Of course, it is a rule. Probably shouldn't be one. But it's a rule that's almost never going to affect the race, affect who's going to win the race. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it is kind of silly. Harvick was able to manage to get back up there. I think mostly because the caution happened like instantly right after that.
Yeah.
With the 52 and the 38, a hard hit for David Rickon.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once again, the PJ1 just got another car really loose, and I believe Dave Reagan's in the wrong place, wrong time, and just really tough hit in the wall.
And Daniel Suarez, he would lead on the next restart. Showed a lot of speed. Managed to finish third in the race. Normally Suarez will, go out there, lead laps, and then something will happen and he'll lose all that track position. But he was able to keep it, get a top 5, and I think he ran pretty well.
Yeah, he did a very good job pretty much all day. I mean, he ran real well, and he's still right there with Eric Almirola most of the day and battled them towards the front. Because once he got there, he pretty much stayed towards the front end.
Yeah, Almirola would eventually get around him, and Almirola hasn't had a good race in a long time. I think the last time he's got a top 10 was Daytona or Talladega, whichever one. And other than that, he's had a rough season, but they had a good run tonight and got second place out of it.
Yeah, it's good. He's battling Harvick. He didn't let Harvick just have it. He battled him pretty good, which that's what he's supposed to do, I guess. But
yeah, that's what he's paid to do.
Yeah, because you think, well, that's your teammate. You want him to go to the Homestead, but still, Eric is trying to win races and do the best thing he can for his team. But nobody had anything for Harvick. He just had a great car.
And then I think Harvick got a little lucky because green flag pit stops were going on. He was able to leapfrog a whole bunch of people because, during that, Bubba Wallace would spin, whether that was intentional or not. I think it was intentional, but I don't think it should be a penalty at all.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it's really tough. I mean, has anybody out there really tried to run with a flat tire and pushes up on the apron, and like he was trying to keep control of it and just kind of lost it. And I believe they should have thrown the caution anyway, because he was really slow on the apron, and I believe they should have went ahead and threw the caution anyway.
Yeah, being slow on the apron, and then you're going to have faster cars coming out of the apron, and could have caused a much tougher wreck. Just it is unfortunate that it happened to Bubba.
Yeah.
And like I said, the apron, I think that was a factor in it, and he probably thought the caution needed to come out when he was that slow and almost spun.
Yeah.
And that's been an issue this season, has been with the cautions.
Yeah, sometimes a car gets the wall or something, you think, well, that shouldn't have been a caution, but they threw the caution. But in other cases, they should have thrown the caution, but they didn't. So I believe the caution should have come out a little sooner.
Yeah.
And see, Eric Almirola, he was on pit road at that time, but he beat the leaders to the start-finish line. So he really was a lucky one. He got to stay on the lead lap, but Kyle Larson got trapped a lap down.
Yeah, and after that, Kyle Larson just did not have the speed. Another one of those things that they talked about was, do you want more downforce or less downforce? And Larson was set up to, for handling. And as the track got cooler, that advantage went away on the longer run. And
yeah, because early on, longer runs, I mean, he was just pretty much the dominant car. But later on, he just couldn't get that run going.
So now Larson will have to, I wouldn't say have to win. It's kind of like that. Same thing with Hamlin.
I believe him and Blaney's tied, but 23 points out. So, I mean, it's possible, but it's going to be a long, hard road to gain any points.
Yeah, ISM is going to be a great battle between everyone that's not Truex or Harvick.
Yeah.
Chase is going to show a lot of speed. Hopefully, the battle, try to get into Homestead. And then you're going to have Larson. I think Texas was his big chance.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't work that way for him. And then Hamlin, he had those issues. Now he's going to go there and think, he's got to win the race, and he's going to go out there and battle, and Logano's going to go out there and battle. So a lot of great drivers out there battling and desperate, looking forward to what Phoenix will bring. And then, so for the rest of the race, Almirola would lead, but Ryan Newman would take 2 tires and kind of slow up some of those guys.
Yep.
Like Logano, I believe he got slowed up. And then it'd be a battle between Almirola and Harvick. Great battle between those two.
Yes, it was a very great battle. I mean, once Harvick got the lead, he just kind of took off.
And then, nothing really else happened after that. It was just kind of like a 2018 Harvick domination race after that. But pretty decent race overall. He didn't have that moment where Newman got in his way, and that could have spiced things up. But eventually, Newman got passed by Harvick.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Harvick had a sizable lead on Eric Almirola, and with Ryan Newman kind of holding him up, Eric got within about a second or two from him.
Yeah, but there's nothing anyone else could do. One other thing that did happen during the green flag pit stops. Kyle Busch stalled out and went from finishing 3rd or 4th to finishing all the way back in 7th, which is not really too big of a deal.
Yeah.
But he needs every point to beat Logano.
Yeah. I mean, really, all of the drivers out there are really close together. Because you look at Ron Blaney, I mean, he ran good at Martinsville. He ran decent at Texas. Had some handling issues, but still finished top 10. And really can't gain the points when everybody else is battling. You battle this right there with you too. So I'd like to see what he's going to do at Phoenix.
Yeah. So Harvick joins Martin Truex Jr. in Homestead, so they're locked in. They can just go to Phoenix and cruise around and last if they want to. It doesn't matter. I think it's what Truex did today.
Yeah.
I know they want to win Texas, but they just didn't really put that much effort. Still put a lot of effort in the Texas car. But right now they're focused on Homestead, and winning Texas would have just been no real change there, no points to really go for. Would have been more money and another trophy, but he also kind of struggled. So I don't know if that's related.
I don't think he really had the handle and stuff on his car today. I ain't sure, what was going on. Just couldn't get the balance right.
So next up we go to ISM with a lot of hungry race car drivers. You got Chase Elliott, who was really hungry. Hasn't made it to stage 2 in a while, so Chase is going to go out there and try everything he can to win. And also Kyle Busch, he's been really hungry because he hasn't won since Pocono in June, and he's watched his teammates go out there and just stack some wins. Watched Martin Truex Jr. race his way into Homestead, won 3 of the playoff races. Denny Hamlin won Kansas recently, and Ryan Blaney almost won Phoenix last time he went there.
Yeah.
Blaney could win, so I wouldn't count anything out next week.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch is only 2 points above Logano, so if Logano has a good day, he can probably get past Kyle Busch, and somebody else wins, and then who knows? I mean, it's really hard to tell who's going to be top 4.
And then in terms of the racing quality, we're probably still going to have that I can't pass complaint from every driver because of the spoiler. So track position is going to be king, just like it is pretty much everywhere. But
I believe they're going to put the PJ1 at Phoenix too. So hopefully it works out better in Texas now.
I think it will, because it'll be a lot warmer. I think it's going to stick a lot better. And then even if it don't, I don't think it's going to have as much as a factor as it did in Texas. It was just junking a bunch of playoff and non-playoff cars.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Harvick and the 4 crew. They're officially going to Homestead, joining Martin Truex Jr. And we'll see who joins them next week on Phoenix, or at Phoenix. So stay tuned throughout the week for our Fast Picks episode on Friday. So we'll see you then.
Yeah, don't forget to keep voting for Ryan Blaney for most popular.
Yeah, we recently campaigned for Blaney, Noah Gragson, and Ross Chastain, and we also had our own little vote, and we'll announce the winners for our finale.
Yep.
All right, so we'll see you for our Fast Picks episode on Friday.